619 here. I have no idea how well you can see that, but look at that gorgeous sunset. That is beautiful. Excuse me, I'm having trouble with my screen at the moment. That is simply beautiful. Let's try and go back to my face. There we go. On second thought. Hi, Miss Bell. Miss Bell. Hey. What are you doing? What are you doing? Can you tell someone is a hyper dog? Hello, Rolling Rock and Daddy Daughter Broadcasting. So, good evening, everyone. To preface the earlier live stream, today is actually the 74th anniversary of D-Day. So, thank you to all of our veterans out there for all the services you have done us and everything that you have sacrificed. So, for what initially started as kind of a crappy day, not gonna say much, but to put it simply, my inner demons were up very strong this morning. Depression can be a hard thing to deal with sometimes. I mean, I know from experience, so. But things got better throughout the day. Did a good massage event. It was a lot of fun. And then, as I mentioned in the other live stream, I was heading to Cabela's to actually look up a specific set for something I was planning on purchasing in the future to do videos with. Well, sadly enough, turns out they actually don't have the set I was looking for. But when I went to go look in their bargain bin, I found this, which is actually the exact item I was looking for. The Benjamin 357 Bulldog. Or simply, Benjamin Bulldog. Now, I have been planning on saving up to purchase that item for quite a while. And what wound up making this day really worth it, besides the initial idiocy on my own part first thing this morning, and the horrendous traffic I got stuck in on the way up, found that item right there for $600 marked down. Now, I have been saving up a lot of points on my personal card, and with everything said and done, with the ring-up price they gave me on this, as well as the points I had earned, basically, I got myself a $1,000 gun for $60. How's that for turning around a crappy day, huh? Yeah, whoa, that's about as well as I can put it myself, too, actually. I almost couldn't believe it either. Though, in my haste to get home, as well as the fact that I was already tired and all the other excuses from the day, there's one thing I forgot to do with this gun as I was finishing up at the store. I forgot to get that taken off. Despite the fact that this is, in fact, an air gun, this definitely is not a toy, my friend. When she gets a little bit older, however, I can tell you something that she may very much enjoy just like my daughter does, which is this. Her uncle got her this for Christmas, ironically enough. You know, the old story of you'll shoot your eye out. But I have shot this one myself. It is a Daisy, and it actually shoots very well. But if you do plan on getting S&M into guns at all, or at least if you want to teach her proper firearm safety, which I believe every child should know, that is actually a very good one to start with. Because this beast, on the other hand, though it is powered by air, fires these big SOBs. 145 grain, 357 caliber, lead ballistic tip bullet. So yeah, this is definitely not a toy. This is, by all means, a good, usable, and lethal weapon. Though I suppose it would be better to call it a tool since it is used for hunting or for recreation. But there's another channel on YouTube called Wild, I believe. And they actually have several videos. If you look up Benjamin Bulldog hunting, they have several videos where they are in Africa, of all places, and they have taken several species of big game with this item. Hello, Louisa Lewis. Nice to see you here. What kind of things you hunt with that? A lot, actually. Now, the predecessor of the Benjamin Bulldog was the Benjamin Rogue, which at the time was the most powerful production airgun on the market. Currently, that title goes to the Air Force Texan 45 caliber big bore airgun. But before, when it was still the Rogue that had that title, they used that in Africa as well for hunting, and one of the first things they did was take what they called giant African rabbits, which it did that flawlessly, and then they kept bumping up their game from there, so to speak. Takes airguns to a whole nother level, precisely. With this one, they've taken, let's see if I can remember, Diker, which is a smaller species of antelope. They have taken Warthog. They have taken Waterbuck. Did you guys hear that thunder? I have no idea if the microphone picked that up or not, but that sounded awesome. Sounds like we got quite a storm heading our way. But they have taken, let's see, Warthog, Waterbuck. They've taken Red Hartebeest. I wasn't sure if that was actually going to be able to be picked up on the microphone or not. Darn it. Because that was loud. But as far as the really big game goes, they've taken Red Hartebeest, Blue Wildebeest, and Ibex, which all three of those are about the same size, approximately, as an American elk. So, yeah, that's a big animal. And if this air gun can take that down, it can hunt just about anything in North America, in my opinion. You know, in the brochure, at least, it says that it's good for up to whitetails. Now, from small game up to whitetails, though personally I think you could probably take an elk. And as far as what is the range on this, hunting-wise, they say that the range is only around 100 yards, and they recommend for larger game only 50 yards or less. So you could essentially kind of think of this almost as a muzzleloader range, when you're talking more of the old-school muzzleloaders, of course. If you're talking the modern inline muzzleloaders, those suckers can go out to 400 yards easy with a scope. But yes, maximum effective range with this gun would be approximately 100 yards for hunting, though I have seen several videos out there of people going out to around anywhere from 200 to 400 yards with this particular gun, just for target shooting and plinking and things like that. So just seeing how far essentially they can push the performance of the gun. So if I can find myself a good long range area to shoot, I will be testing out the range myself. And come to think of it, my brother actually has a pretty good swath of land, and he has a shooting range on there, and he says I'm welcome to go shoot anytime. So once I get the rest of the equipment for this thing, because this is literally bare bones at the moment, because it came with the gun, obviously. It came with, as soon as I can get it out of here, one 5-round magazine. Came with a, come here, you little schmuck, cleaning rod, which also works for getting the pellets out that you haven't shot yet. Came with 6 rounds of ammunition, which I showed you earlier. A manual, as well as some cleaning patches. Which the cool part about those is the fact that you actually shoot them through the gun in order to clean it. And it also came with a little bit of lube. Someone on here. Scotch Double O. I used to watch them all the time. Lots of cool gun reviews. Oh, Such Double O. Suchu? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But no, that is actually a channel I have not personally seen. How heavy is it? Bare bones like this, it's around 7.7 pounds. So it is a little bit on the heavier side. Let's see. It says somewhere here in the owner's manual. Oh, here we go. There are the statistics. I have no idea if you can actually read that or not. But it is a bullpup design. It is a bolt action, a side lever bolt action. It runs on compressed air or nitrogen. It's a .357 caliber, as I've said already a few times. It is 7.7 pounds with accessories, so it is a little bit on the heavier side. With accessories, it's going to be even heavier, of course, because, well, with the dual Picatinny rail system, you can attach quite a bit to this gun, actually. Precisely. And they actually recommend that you use lead ammunition in this instead of any kind of jacketed ammunition. So essentially, you could kind of think of this almost as an air-powered muzzleloader, only this one is a repeater. The 5-round magazine makes sure that you can have 5 rounds very quickly in rapid succession, and it's good for up to 10 full-power shots, if I remember correctly. And I'm also looking into getting myself a really nice .357 caliber conical mold, because I've got all the different equipment for casting bullets with, and I've casted bullets in the past. Matter of fact, the only one I have currently, actually, is a .58 caliber round ball mold, which is what these are. These ones in particular I use for slingshot ammunition, and these have a lot of power to them. But I also have 2 .58 caliber muzzleloaders, and both can shoot round balls. But I've casted bullets before. It's actually a lot of fun to cast bullets. It's hot work, but actually fairly relaxing. So once I can get myself a mold for this, I'll be able to cast my own bullets, but you can, of course, buy them from Crosman.com. But I need to get myself a scope for this. I need to get myself either a flashlight and laser attachment for the bottom Picatinny rail system. Hello, Zomblue. Good evening. Or, of course, I can attach myself a bipod. You can attach a sling to this. And with the top rail, as long as it is, there's a fair amount of accessories you can attach to the top as well. I'm not going to go anything fancy. I'm just going to get a simple airgun scope, probably with a bipod on the bottom, possibly a flashlight red dot or flashlight laser pointer combo set thing. Oh, you save a lot of money casting your own slugs, especially if you know where to get scrap lead. Which, for a short while, one of the gas stations very close to where I live was keeping old tire weights that weren't usable anymore. And I was actually getting them for free over there. So I have a multitude of bullets that I've cast in 58 caliber that cost me absolutely nothing out of pocket. And once I get the proper mold for these, I can then cast quite a few for this as well. I'm going to attempt to shoot this in my own backyard, but I'm not entirely sure how loud or quiet this one is. Supposedly, with the shrouded barrel, as they call it, it's supposed to be much quieter than other air guns, so we will see. Hello, Tessa Calloway. Nice to see you here. But I need to find out just how loud this thing is by doing 1 or 2 test shots out here to make sure it's not too loud and I'm not accidentally spooking the horses. Hello, Aaron. Nice to see you here. Well, I'm not going to lie, that was kind of a clickbait title. But what I did was purchase myself a new toy, Aaron. Which is basically what we're talking about right now. Let's see. Do you need a certain amount of subscribers before you can actually set moderators? Can you guys hear that? Thought maybe you knocked your girlfriend up or something. That thunder is so loud you can actually, I can feel and hear it shakes. Let's see. Tessa Calloway, Rolling Rock, Zomblu, Aaron L. Dub, Daddy Daughter Broadcasting, Torcida Split. Hello to everyone. Nope, you just click the 3 dogs next to someone's name and it becomes an option. I'm on a tablet. And as usual, it only says report remove, put user in timeout, or hide user on this channel. Three dots. I'm still not even seeing dots. I just had a total break right here. But yes, let's see. But yes, Rolling Rock, if you want one, you can get one for the low, low price of $1,000. I wouldn't know. I've never actually smelled a brain fart before. But yes, so that was essentially just a kind of a clickbait title, so I do apologize for that. Smells like burning. That sounds about right. But basically, it was just Ben Franklin and get a boss time lapse. Ben Franklin. That sounds so familiar. What the heck is a Ben Franklin again? Is that like a bagel shop or something? Or am I thinking of Einstein Bros? Or is that some kind of a convenience store? I don't know. Though, in all seriousness, today actually was kind of a crappy day. Started out as a crappy day. But one thing led to another, and to sum it all up. Oh, okay. But essentially, to sum it all up, I wound up getting $1,000 gun for $60. I'm sure that's enough to make just about everyone happy. Ben Franklin Bridge. Okie dokie. And I also found a fairly decent deal on a high pressure air pump for this thing for around $40, when normally they're anywhere from about 140 to 500. Now, I do mean hand pump, of course. Show them the 327. You got it. And that's perhaps what is most interesting about this particular one. You take a bullet from that gun. Once you see this, you might change your mind. This is a legitimate 357 caliber, 145 grain, ballistic tip bullet. And thank you. Thank you. And yes, that's just how it was. I've gone through depression in the past, and sometimes it just kind of sneaks up on you, and it feels like you're trying to swim with a Chicago necklace. For anyone who doesn't know what a Chicago necklace is, cinder blocks with a chain. Wascally Wabbas with that one. I have a 357 handgun, but this is the first time I've heard of this gun. Yes, the big bore airgun community, while it is fairly new, is actually somewhat limited. Because of the fact that a lot of people don't know about the big bore air guns that are already out there. I mean, essentially the predecessor for the Benjamin Bulldog was the Benjamin Rogue, which was also in 357. And for anyone who's just learning about big bore air guns, 357 is pretty much the bottom mark when you first start. From there, it just goes up. Matter of fact, I just recently saw a video talking about a 20 millimeter air gun. Be right back, having router issues. Good time, no rush here. Ugh. Let me get a little more comfortable here. Oh, I was on my knees. I was working on my knees quite a bit earlier today, doing massage. Yeah, 20 millimeter. I'm trying to think of what caliber that is. Like 81 caliber, almost a full inch in diameter. Yeah, I think that's right around 1 inch. And it was powered by helium, of all things. Which helium is actually starting to take the air gun world by storm, so to speak. Because you can actually get more helium compressed into an air tank. You can get more of it in there than you can with actual air, so it actually increases the speed by a fairly large margin. But the gun that has the current rating as the most powerful production air gun on the market is the Air Force Texan, which is a 54 caliber. Wait, did I say 54? 45. I'm dyslexic. It is a 45 caliber air gun, excuse me. And that is what currently holds the record as the most powerful production air gun, which essentially means it's the most powerful commercially available one. Now, obviously, if you go into the realm of custom big bore air guns, you can get much more powerful ones out there. And there is a brand out there, I believe it's called Samyang, something along those lines. They've got one called a Dragon Claw, which is a 50 caliber air gun. Those things are nice. All the physics and science behind all that is amazing. Someone had to think I can get more helium into that chamber than other air. Well, you're correct on that. Thought you were talking about the Samyang noodles. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought of at first too when I said the name. It's Sam Ying, I think, or something like that. I honestly don't remember the exact name of it. But look up Dragon Claw Airgun, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And as far as it goes for the science into the air being put into the tanks, if you think about it, even just in civil science, it's known that helium is times less dense than regular air, which is why when you breathe in helium, your voice sounds like Alvin the Chipmunk. Whereas if you breathe in hydroxyfluoride, no, that's not it. Crap, now I can't remember what it's called. There's another type of air that you can breathe in. Um, this is going to be driving me nuts until I remember what it is. But there's a type of air that you can breathe in that is 6 times more dense than air. And no, it's not carbon dioxide. And it makes your voice sound way deeper. Okay, hold on a second here. Oh, right, I turned my phone off. Crap. Well, can't look it up on that. Yeah, there's a video out there on YouTube where one of the guys from Mythbusters, if I remember correctly, going to be going live and playing music tomorrow night, guys. Today I'll be with S&M. I heard about that air that makes your voice deeper. I'm just drawing a blank on what it is, but this guy from Mythbusters, I believe, shows the difference between helium and that one. He first inhales the helium, of course, which makes his voice sound extremely high pitched, and then he inhales the other one, which then make sulfur hexafluoride. That's it. Thank you, Philip. Oh, that was driving me nuts trying to remember that. But you breathe makes your voice sound way deeper because it's 6 times more dense than air. So it only took a matter of time. Here comes the rain. It would only take a matter of time, so to speak, for someone to think, helium is way less dense than air. I'll bet we can pack a lot more of it into one of these things and make it shoot a lot faster. So, there you go. But the cool thing about some of the different air guns out there is the fact that the catch our live stream, severe social anxiety. Yeah, social anxiety is a tough one, and YouTube can actually help with that. Let's see. We breathe air that is 21% oxygen and we require oxygen to live. So you might be thinking that breathing 100% oxygen would be great, but it can actually be harmful. Yes, I actually do know that one. And I got that straight from Google, and Google never lies. Send that rain here. Yes, they actually conducted experiments regarding breathing in oxygen like that, and it has been proven that too much oxygen is actually very bad for you. However, not enough, and obviously, which is what I have to deal with when I have asthma. Awesome. It was 95 yesterday. Today it only got up to around 88, so it was a little bit cooler. But believe me, I know what you mean. It is officially to the point where I can no longer tell people it's warm, it's not hot yet, summer isn't here. It got here real fast. Yes,
I will, of course, be tuning in to both of your live streams tomorrow. Well, assuming I can find whichever one that you're on, Aaron. What was the name of that again? Make It Wayne's channel. Okay, I will be sure to look that up. I don't think I'm subscribed to that channel yet, so I will see what I can do. Eating his bat chip? What in the world is a bat chip? I missed that. Okay. But yes, Philip, I will of course be tuning into your live stream. If presuming I can find that particular, I got the hiccups. Presuming I can find that particular channel, I will be tuning into yours as well, Aaron. Just to see what in the heck's going on out there. And now they're trying to call in the cats. It's a homemade tortilla chip in the shape of a bat, and it's covered with ghost pepper powder. 44. Ooh, chilly. I know the temperature is going down a bit here. Homemade Packy One Chip Challenge. That's kind of what I was getting at from the description you made. That sounds intense. I have a video that will be coming out soon, which is where me and my friend Lord Mechanicus taste test Reaper's Sling Blade, which I mentioned a few times in several other live streams on other people's channels and a couple times here on my channel. And the first two ingredients on that are Carolina Reaper and Boot Jalokia, which I'm sure all of you know is ghost pepper. So, yeah, that was quite amusing, honestly. Watching that in post, it was quite hilarious. Good sauce, but holy crap. At World Market today, it's good. I'm not gonna lie, it is very tasty, but holy crap. Montreal too, things like being in Canada, summers tend to be cooler. Yeah, I can imagine so. I can imagine that up in Montreal, it's a lot cooler than it is down here. Oh. Whew. Being Sese. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Not sure if I've seen you here before or not, but either way, welcome in. And this is just for everyone to know, I'm terrible at remembering names. So if I wind up forgetting your name at any point in time, I apologize. I am terrible with them. So yes. Yeah, in NB it's quite cool ofter. Ofter? If you forget my name... Well, with your names over your channel names, thankfully those ones are much easier to remember. When it comes to meeting people in person, that's where it's more just kind of like, hi, you? Nice to see ya. Hello, I came to say hi and to drop a big thumbs up and show love. I apologize for my incoming comments. Forgive me. Nothing to forgive. Thank you very much for joining in tonight. It's always nice to see new faces on here. And I believe I have finally passed 80 subscribers. So I'm getting close to the 100 subscriber mark, which is awesome. And I gotta try and think of something I can do for a 100 subscriber milestone video. But yes, so, yep, almost at that 100. Thank you. I don't remember what your name is, though. Do what I did. I'm not sure what you did. No name? I don't know what you did, and I don't even know who you are. Good job, thank you very much. Taking a little bit longer than I honestly thought it would, but heck, I'm in no rush to go anywhere, really, so... And presuming I can get the information off of the card, I've got a very old, When I hit 100, I should come to Colorado Springs and eat pho with you guys. That might not be a bad idea. Yep, I have a lot of fun doing, I will not eat the world's hottest chocolate. I am a wuss when it comes to spicy stuff. I may know quite a bit about spicy stuff and do enjoy a bit of spice now and then, but I can't handle that kind of hot crap. I don't feel like going to the hospital. Okay, we will see what happens. We'll see how long it takes me to get to 100. Hmm? Death nuts? Oh, good God, no. Dear Lord, no. But hello, Russ. Yeah, Yasmin. Nice to see you here. I could barely even handle that Reaper Sling Blade, let alone actually taking the Death Nut challenge. I guarantee I wouldn't be able to do that. My buddy, Lord Mechanicus, on the other hand, quite possibly. Oh, I get endorphin rushes off of the 400,000 levels too. I mean, I don't know how many of you have heard of it, but there's a restaurant out there called Huhat, which is essentially a Mongolian barbecue all-you-can-eat buffet. And they have one on there called Khan's Revenge, which is made with the habanero peppers. And man, that one is good, but holy crap, is it hot! But anyway, going back to what I was trying to talk about before, presuming I could actually get the information off of the memory card, because it is a very old memory card, I'm planning on putting together a video that was meant to come into being about 5 years ago. And hopefully I'll be able to get that edited and uploaded very soon. Presuming I can, I then need to get together with a few of my friends and film the second half of the video. Oh dear, it's midnight where you are? Well, go to bed and have a great night. Good night, L-Dub. Thank you very much for joining us. You know, come to think of it, there's actually another subscriber of mine that I don't think I've seen in a while. Oh, heck, now I can't remember what the heck their name was. Again, going right back to the whole premise that I'm terrible with names. But there was one subscriber that tuned in quite a bit to my videos, especially when I did the balloon videos. They were extremely excited seeing the balloon car vlog, as well as me shooting balloons. But for some reason, I am drawing such a blank on their name. And good night, L-Dub. Have a wonderful rest. That was a woman, right? I believe it was, yes. Nope, I'm drawing a total blank on the name. Total blank. Yes, that's correct, Philip. That is correct. Good night. Shoot, I cannot remember what in the world her name is. But I remember she tuned in quite a bit for a while there and then just kind of disappeared for some reason, it seems like. I mean, maybe I just haven't been seeing her in the chats lately or something. I'm not sure. I just... Dang it, I hate when I can't remember a name. Platypus? Oops. Platypus. Pumpkin spice cookies. Woo! Okay, get these socks out of here. Crap. I missed the hamper. Darn it. Come here. The most awkward moonwalk you will ever witness. But yes, I'm glad we're all on the same page about what we were talking about earlier. Let's see. People say that people like me can't handle hot sauce. Oh, that's the one I just read. HD, edit HD. That's who it was. That's who it was. Thank you, Russ. Yes, it was Edit HD. Wonder where they went. Wonder why we haven't seen them in a while. Thank you for helping me remember the name. I don't know. That's just kind of interesting how some people just kind of seem to come and go. But then again, that's also just how YouTube is in general. Okay, thought I was hearing things. Alright, well, this totally random live stream has been going on for well over 40 minutes, so I'm actually surprised the Wi-Fi held out this long. That's good news. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and say good night. I know it is getting quite late in other parts of the world, as L-Dub just mentioned earlier. Keep going. Okay, I can go ahead and keep going for a little while longer, I suppose. For those of you that missed it, in my previous live stream that was earlier today, I did a little bit of a history lesson in regards to the item called the Girardoni airgun. I'm not going to do another full review of it here, of course, another full history lesson, but check out my previous live stream. But it's just interesting to think that, of all things, an air gun is what helped to shape America to what it is today. Something as simple as some compressed air. It's amazing just how far technology like that has come, isn't it? I mean, if you really want to look back into the idea of, what's this? When you get done with your awesome stream, you should visit and hop on ours. Oh, you guys are going to do a live stream once I'm finished up here? Or a little wait time after I'm done here, I suppose? If that's the case, I will definitely pop in to say hello. There goes that thunder again. But I remember thinking back quite a while ago, back still when YouTube was fairly young. This is like maybe 2 or 3 years in at most that YouTube had been around. I remember finding a video that was talking about big bore air guns, such as the one behind the camera right now. And the one I was looking at, if I remember correctly, was a .50 caliber. And at the time, I'm thinking, there's no way they make air guns that can shoot something that big. And then I watched the video and I'm just like, holy crap, that makes something that's powered by air that can shoot that. Nice. And that's kind of how I wound up getting started in air guns like that. I mean, obviously I've had BB guns for a long period of time. I've had lever action daisies. I've had pump masters. I have a pump master right above my bed. I've got a really neat old lever action that I got from my grandpa that's powered by CO2 that needs a new O-ring. I was stupid and left it out in the sun, so the O-ring got messed up. But I love shooting that one the most. And I've also got that really powerful break action 22 caliber pellet gun that I've got, which just got repaired recently. It was broken not too long ago, and it is still extremely accurate. Well, that's what's interesting about the big bores is most of them have an integrated tank in the gun itself. Like, for example, the Bulldog here, the air reservoir, I believe, is right in here. And on the other side, there's actually the gauge to show you how much air pressure is in there, which it's empty at the moment. But it also just depends on what model you get. Like, for example, anything from FX Airguns, which if you've ever seen the Slingshot channel, you know that Jorg Sprav has featured numerous items from FX Airguns on his channel, though all the ones he's shown are arrow shooters. Yes, still highly portable. Essentially, the way it works for big bore guns like this is the tank itself is integrated into the whole system, so you just have to air it up before you actually head out onto the field or wherever you want to go to shoot it. When it comes to refilling it, you have several different options. You can get a hand pump, like the one that I purchased that will be arriving within about 2 weeks or so. You can get a compressor, though those are quite a bit up there in price range, depending on where you look, of course. You can also get scuba tanks, carbon fiber tanks, as well as some of them even accept paintball style tanks. So it just really depends. There are numerous options out there, and what a lot of channels do that actually shoot these things regularly for their videos, they will have a large scuba tank of some kind, or a tank made by that particular gun company, such as Benjamin or Air Force or FX Airguns, things of that sort. They'll have a gigantic tank sitting on the shooting table that they're shooting at with a hose directly connected to the gun itself. So they will go ahead and shoot through what is in the tank on the gun, and then they will just reach over, crank over the knob, fill it up again, crank it over, turn it off, and just keep on shooting. So as long as you have a scuba tank or something like that connected to the gun, you can essentially shoot as long as there's air in the scuba tank. But each one of the integrated tanks on the different air guns like these ones have a limited amount of shots that they can do. This one can do 10 full power shots before it needs to be re-aired. The Air Force Texan, which is a 45 caliber, I believe can go 6 shots before it needs to be refilled. Are you carrying any of these guns in your rap loving days? I don't know what the heck you be smoking there, Aaron, but you need to be sharing. Personally, I don't listen to rap. That's just me. But no, this is actually, come to think of it, this is actually the very first big bore air gun I've ever purchased. The biggest one I've had before that was my 22 caliber, which is still a heck of a good gun. It is still very powerful, and it'll kill a very wide variety of small game up to approximately medium game, so things like about the size of raccoons and such, it'll still cleanly take. But the Bulldog is the first actual big bore I've ever purchased. Thug life! Darn it. I don't have my pump action right next to me. I just pull it up. Thug life! Very nice. Yep, I've got a 20 gauge pump action myself, actually. Whew! And I love my 20 gauge. I've also got a couple of 12 gauges. Well, I say I've got a couple where I've only got one that actually is functional, and the other one... Let me just go ahead and show you the other one. What's this? We got the cold chains, the gold reins, and we got the big bores. We don't do chores. Very nice. All right, so this is the other shotgun, and you can see why I hesitate saying that I've got two. If you can see the stock right there, it was actually sawed off and then glued back on. And up here on the barrel, I have no idea. Yeah, that is a weld. Those are two weld marks, where whoever owned this damn gun before, along with hammer marks right here on the end of the barrel, decided to cut the barrel off in two different places and then weld it back on. I got this at an auction, which I don't even know why the heck they were selling it to begin with. I mean, this thing is just a disaster waiting to happen. Though it works good for launching pop bottle rockets. Essentially, if I wanted to turn this into a good shootable gun, I'd probably have to cut it off right about here, and then take this crappy stock off again, and then just turn it into a little sawed off. Which are basically, this is all that would be left of the gun, where my hands are. Yeah, you're not going to catch me shooting this thing at all, unless I modify it. Because that thing is useless. To this day, I'm still not entirely sure. The only reason I bought this is because I didn't realize what bad condition it was in. And that's legitimate truth. I did not see this one up there, but they said, we'll start the bid at $25. Like, yeah, so. Just a quick note from Bowmaster. Make sure you always check merchandise before you actually buy it. You'll shoot your eye out with that thing. You'll be lucky if you get away with just your eye shot out. Yeah, well, it would also technically be considered illegal if the barrel is under 15 inches. I think it's 15. It might be as low as 13 inches. I'm not sure. I honestly can't remember what the length determination is, but if I were to modify this thing to where it was potentially still shootable, yeah, it would full on be considered illegal. But if it was able to actually shoot in the condition of it being modified, then that would be a good one to keep at the side of your bed if someone breaks in. Only that might wind up working as a pipe bomb, so who knows. I think I'd rather just have this thing aired up slightly and use that for home defense, because I guarantee that person ain't walking away if they get hit with that. And if water guns are the only guns that you have, then there's not a darn thing wrong with that. Personally, I think all kids should learn gun safety. That's my personal belief. All children should learn gun safety at some point in their life before they are adults. Preferably before they are 16 or older. Though, better late than never, right? That's why I'm teaching my daughter gun safety very early off, and I'm going to be teaching my son gun safety early off as well. You know, that's just one of my personal beliefs. Yes, and that is one of the biggest things that we have nowadays is most people out there, kids and adults both, it's not just the kids, there's plenty of adults out there who do not have a proper respect for these tools. And these are tools. It's just like how a sword is a tool, a spear, a bow, a crossbow, a gun. They are all tools. They are only considered to be used as weapons if they are used against other human beings. Precisely, Russ, and that is very good. Welcome back, Luis Lewis. We're getting fairly close to the end of the stream here because we've been going for nearly an hour. Surprisingly enough, I honestly didn't think we'd been going that long. Cool. But yes, my personal take on that is that all kids need to learn to have proper respect for these types of items. That's just one of the biggest problems today. Thank you, Philip. We all know that you're a wonderful father as well, and I'm sure Russ is a very good dad also. Matter of fact, my daughter actually got in trouble not too long ago because she wasn't showing proper respect with gun safety. And she hasn't been allowed to pick that up since. When she can show me that she still fully understands gun safety, then she'll be allowed to shoot again. And the exact same thing goes for handling bows as well. My daughter is 8 years old. And we had a moment not too long ago. Actually, this one's probably a couple months ago. Where she did something extremely unsafe with the BB gun that I showed you earlier, the pink one. And she has not been allowed to touch that again since. And yes, I also have a son, Aaron. If you look a little further back in my video catalog, I actually have a video where I spend a day with my kids and actually film it. It's lopsided, it's over on its side, but it has both my kids in there, and my son is... Let's see. Fudge. Let's see. I believe he's 21 months old right now. Sorry, it took me a minute there. My brain wasn't wanting to work for math. Yes, he's right around 21 months old. Ugh. So obviously he is not actually able to handle anything like that quite yet. My dad was all right. He's strict military, so in Mount. Excellent. Military family here too. No. My wife and kids actually live in Greeley. We do not live together. It's complicated, and I'm not going to go into that, but they do not live with me. I get to see them once a week, pretty much. If I could see them more, I would, but unfortunately, I can't. My dad was in the Army. He didn't actually wind up having to see action, thankfully. He was in the draft. But he was a marksman in the military. He even has a couple badges for it, and he taught me everything I know all about shooting as well. No, that's fine. I'm just saying I'm not going to go into it. Don't keep eat. Fair enough. I mean, whenever my kids are here, I have all of my big, nasty tools locked up. So they can't get into them. Even though I have noticed that Samantha really doesn't seem to get into any of that stuff unless she asks me first, and of course I am here. I mean, my kids know to stay out of my room. So she never tries to get a hold of any of that stuff, and well, that's the reality of it. All these items that these people are trying to demonize and villainize and make illegal and yada yada yada, they're tools. They are not weapons until they are used as such. I mean, come on. A pair of scissors is a tool until you go and stab someone in the neck. A hammer is a tool until you bludgeon someone with it. A power drill, insert harmless household item here, is nothing more than a tool until it is used otherwise. And that's the part that's so freaking stupid about it. There are so many posts I see on Facebook that are constantly saying that AR-15s are useless. They're not good for anything. They need to be banned. Blah 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 blah. They're the number one most purchased tool in America as far as firearms are concerned. They're used for small game hunting. They're used for big game hunting. They're used for target practice, communal shootings. I could probably word that a lot better. Competition shooting is probably a better term to use. I guess that's one way to put it there, Philip. Yeah, communal shootings is definitely the wrong terminology, but people in a community getting together for a shooting competition. Things of that sort. Time for a desk pop. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. So many of these items, if anyone would bother to stop and look at the statistics, it's been proven time and again that AR-15s are not used nearly as much as people seem to think they are. Diesel mechanic, very nice. Very cool. That movie. What movie are you talking about there, Aaron? I'm a little lost. Oh, The Other Guys. Okay. Don't think I've ever seen that one. And some of the laws that they have out there regarding certain weapons are pretty darn ridiculous, too. Oh, okay. Now that makes a little bit more sense. Which reminds me, I don't know if this one was specifically in Colorado. I think it might have been. There's a video that recently went viral of an FBI agent dancing outside of a club with a bunch of people around him, goes and does a backflip. His loaded gun, which was cocked with the safety off, goes flying out of the back of his pants, and as he goes to pick it up, it goes off and shoots someone in the leg. An FBI agent, for crying out loud. Was that one in Texas? Okay, I couldn't remember if it was in Colorado or not, but yeah, the guy literally does a backflip. The gun falls out of his pants and bang, goes off and shoots someone in the leg. It's like, for starters, if you're an FBI agent, that happened here to an instructor. If you're an FBI agent, what the heck are you doing getting drunk at a club with a loaded firearm on you? Come on. And in the back of your pants instead of a holster? Really? Ugh, some people. He'd better friggin' be facing charges. That was a completely idiotic thing to do. It's all Colorado is known for, shootings and weed. Sadly, at this point in time, that kind of is what it seems like Colorado is really infamous for right now, isn't it? I'm going to assume you're quoting the movie again there. Yeah. I mean, those are the two things that Colorado is infamous for. As far as good things, we're known for a lot. We're known for our amazing ski resorts. We're known for our amazing hunting and fishing. We've got excellent cities to visit. And Lord knows that Colorado has some of the best water in the country. That's why we've got over 50 distilleries and several microbreweries. And I don't like South Park. I'm just going to come right out and say it. I have never enjoyed South Park. I've only seen like maybe one or two episodes, and that was enough for me to say, this is stupid, I ain't watching it. That I did not know. I did not know that we actually had a active uranium mine. That's pretty cool. Bit of a side note in regards to uranium, though I don't know necessarily if this has specifically to do with uranium. Back when I was still in middle school, I believe, I was part of the Cub Scouts. Maybe it's a little earlier than that. Anyway, I was in the Cub Scouts, and we went to an event which was actually held in an old missile silo here in Colorado. We wound up doing a big first aid contest, and my team completely waxed everyone else because my mom had actually gotten professional nurses to come down to our troop and give us a full-fledged first aid course, and we had practiced all of those things after that. So let me scroll back up a little bit. All right, Russ, have a good night. Oh, I don't care if other people watch South Park. They can watch it to their heart's content. It's just not something that I personally watch. Yes, give our regards to Barbie and your kids. I mean, just like how my pal, Lord Mechanicus, he watches Beavis and Butthead, and he thinks that show is just so hilarious. And the few bits I've seen of it, I'm just like, why do you consider this funny? Just saying. It's kind of like when Leslie was saying for the longest time how hilariously funny and side-splitting Blazing Saddles was. We watched through it, and I just kind of stopped and looked at her and went, why exactly do you find this funny? I mean, don't get me wrong, it had some funny moments in it, but Blazing Saddles was definitely not one of Mel Brooks' best productions. It really wasn't. Scrolling up, yep, sounds about right. Okay. Did you guys see my light flicker? I could have swore I just saw my light flicker. Whatever. Alright, well, seems like for the most part, everyone is getting ready to go to bed, and I know that other people are getting ready to do their own personal live streams. So, I'm going to go ahead and say farewell for good night. Thank you. What did I just say? Farewell for tonight. And I've got work myself tomorrow, so I definitely can't do that for you. But yes, this is Bowmaster619 signing off. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining in with me tonight and seeing my new toy. It's going to be a while before it's fully operational, but it's going to... We're going to do it tomorrow instead. Oh, okay. I know S&M would work like an absolute boss, because she is an absolute boss. And by the way, my wife watched one of your videos recently. I don't remember which particular one it was. It was one of your more recent ones. I think it might have been the one where you get kicked in the head. But she watched it and thought it was hilarious, and she says S&M is just a total ham. She very much enjoyed watching it, so there is a big thumbs up from me for that. So, as always, drive safe, stay safe, never stop learning. This is Bowmaster619 out. Mwah.